I don't think I need to persuade anyone in this gathering of the importance of protecting our rural communities and sustaining them for this generation and those yet to come. They are a national, European and global asset of incalculable value and one that, once lost, can never be recreated to the same degree. The importance of retaining young farmers, the connection between the health and agricultural sector and the health of the rural community is something which is very strong but not always understood. After all, if we take away the family farms and the farmers, what would we be left with? It is a concern for the future security of our food supplies and the rich diversity of regional produce that is such a feature of EU agriculture. It is also about maintaining the rural landscape of Europe, the special parts of a countryside so beloved by visitors, and this does not just happen by accident. Let's remember it was the farmers who created our landscape and who now care for it. But the role they and their families play goes further than that. They are so often the very lifeblood of our villages and rural way of life. Colleagues, I represent Northern Ireland, a part of the EU with an important agricultural economy and a vibrant rural community. Many family farms are a crucial element to both. Nevertheless, we are seriously affected by the crisis in the agricultural sector, even without the considerations and uncertainties caused by Brexit. And we are a witness to a drift of young people away from farming and the countryside and into our urban centres. In order to address and reverse the tide, we need to understand the causes. In terms of financial support, a survey of young farmers published in the autumn of last year highlighted a lack of financial backing for young farmers as a major inhibitor for young people wanting to get into farming in the next 5 years.
Excuse me, can I interrupt a bit? So please don't have separate discussions here. Try to listen to the presentation or use your own thinking on whatever topic you want, but please don't discuss.
Thank you, President. In terms of financial support, a survey of young farmers published in the autumn of last year highlighted a lack of financial backing for young farmers as a major inhibitor for young people wanting to get into farming in the next 5 years. A desire for a level playing field across the EU and animal welfare legislation and the maintenance of effective environmental conditions were key considerations for future farming. There is a sense among many young farmers that existing landowners and farmers who have control of the land and an income from EU subsidy are a barrier to new entrants who want to establish themselves in business. So while the majority of young farmers want to see subsidies continue, about half wanted it to continue only for a limited time. Many young farmers do not expect to be given subsidies, but they recognise the unfairness of a system which is loaded against them. Existing farmers are provided with support, but those at the foot of the ladder are not. Many young farmers want to reduce or remove area-based basic subsidy payments and instead support farmers through grants and loans from farm business investments. So if the subsidy system is supposed to help farming become more dynamic to contribute to public goods and benefits, then it might do this better if it were not so inextricably tied to land ownership, but instead addressed the business needs of established farmers and new entrants alike. Finding the right sort of employees in the future is also a concern for young farmers as future employers. When considering the skills most important for developing farm business, young farmers highlight business administration skills, for example on legal and financial aspects of business operations, or technical skills on using EPVs in livestock breeding decisions or on the safe use of pesticides. Modern farming equipment requires people with the practical skills as well as the educational and understanding to use state-of-the-art machinery in this day and age.